Are you guys working on your car? No. The carport's got lights.
Oh, we're already. I didn't mean to go live already.
You're live already?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, cool. Okay.
should I go to the transition one or not?
No, that's all right. I guess we're live.
We're already live, I think. Maybe. Going to
Maybe.
restream. I
I
didn't
haven't
mean.
even turned down my mobile.
Um,
Hang on.
well, let's just see if we're actually live.
Okay.
It should be. I didn't mean to go live, but we're here.
Okay, cool. All right. So this is episode. I don't even know what episode it is.
Ah,
Is this an episode, or are we just gonna do?
well, I guess
So this is just a recap. Yeah.
it's an episode.
Okay. Well, I think.
I think you just fell off the internet, EG.
Huh?
I think you just fell off the internet.
Again. All right. Are you guys on my Wi-Fi? Okay. Are we actually live? No, I don't see a live video.
No,
Oh, no, we are live.
we're live.
Oh, you're live. Okay, cool. So, welcome to episode 49, I'm guessing. I don't actually know.
Let's just make up random numbers.
49, 86, 112.
Yeah, something like that.
Okay. So I am one of your hosts, EG, and on my left or right, I don't even know anymore.
Probably your left.
Left?
I think so.
Okay, so on my left is
Are you using
Greg.
your left hand right now or your right hand?
this is my left hand.
Well, I'm on your left, but on the screen I'm on your right.
Okay, somewhere is Greg.
Yeah, I didn't mean to go live, but I'm not used to this whole new restream thing, so we are live on Facebook and on whatever the other thing's called, YouTube. So
Anyway, we are trying to get
no,
those other episodes onto YouTube. No, we're not getting those episodes onto YouTube
Oh, yeah, but I don't even know if we're still
live.
Yeah, Facebook just dropped out. I don't know if it restarted as another one. What the fuck? We're still live on
On YouTube.
On YouTube.
Okay. Well, that seems to be the more important one because everyone's been asking us to upload the other episodes onto YouTube, and we will upload those episodes missing from YouTube.
Yeah, that's your job, mate.
I'll do that.
Are you still working this week?
Yes. Yeah, I am. Yeah, so I can't make it. What are we doing?
Sharpening blades.
Okay.
Getting ready to
not fun work.
Yeah, trying to neck myself.
Yeah, okay.
This internet is still dropping in and out, so.
Oh yeah, I can see it's created like another live. Yeah. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I don't know.
So, getting through a few technical issues.
Yeah,
it seems like YouTube is more stable than Facebook at the moment, which is...
Well, what YouTube does is it just continues the same stream as long as it gets going, where Facebook, once it has a fit, it decides to not keep it as one video. I apologize, Jai. It's nice to have you. You're probably our #1 guest for the year. Well, you definitely had the best exit. And then Merry Christmas to you as well, Paul. Have we started? Fuck, is this started another video? I don't know. Go watch it on buddy YouTube. Oh, Jesus, mate, get out of the shot.
He does that. He tries to increase his no content. I don't know.
His reach.
Reach, yes. So if you see, you gotta keep a lookout on all sorts of videos and see if you can see Nick in the background because he's usually working out there, getting his face into videos.
Is that famous Nick Clippen from the YouTube channel? Nick?
It is. What was his? It's Nico179 is his YouTube channel. If you want to check it out, daily blogs.
I'm not sure they're daily, but
content as good as Adam LZ or his equivalent. I think it was. I think someone said.
Wow. Somebody's gone a bit rich on him.
But that's another vlog that you can check out.
How was the Red Stage Christmas party?
It was good, actually. Had lots of chicken, lots of prawns, and salmon. And
I'm not talking about that side of it, mate.
That didn't happen yesterday.
Excuse me? Who's going to inspect the street lamps in the Greater Canberra area if
It will probably happen soon.
Okay.
We'll make sure the lights are working out there.
Alright. Melbourne also appeared to have a pretty good light inspection party.
If anyone saw that.
If anybody
Is that video still up?
Nah, I think that video got taken down.
Okay.
So they look pretty well organised. They get a lot of inspecting the lights going, and
they're very thorough.
They looked very thorough.
Yes.
And plenty of hands on deck to inspect the lights. As well as I couldn't believe how organised they looked. Cones and everything out to mark where the curbing was, so as they were like looking up at the lights that they wouldn't hit curbs. So it's really sensible because like you can imagine like as you're looking up, as you're sort of driving along the street to check the lights, at least like the sort of slightly higher bollards sort of stay in your vision rather than if you're just gonna look down you might end up hitting a curb. So very well played, as well as some well decorated cars with with their safety lights going. So well done.
Yeah, it stood out. Like, mate, that car was not getting unnoticed. Very safe indeed.
It looked like there's a couple of them.
Yeah.
This is telling me that I have poor internet. I should go to audio only. Clearly too many people at home today. So as EG said earlier, we figured we'd just do a little bit of a recap on the year, and I don't even remember what month we ended up starting. We started in January last year?
We started in January, but they weren't published. Remember, we kept doing test ones and trying to figure out how to do it, and then we were pre-recording the show and uploading them after.
Yeah, Jesus, I still can't believe it's already been that long though.
Yeah. So that's where we started. I think we spoke about it last year because we're still not in 2019 yet. And then, we did a couple of test ones, and it took us a while to I don't even think we had a episode poster back then, did we?
When was that, in January?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like we've been doing this shit for so long now. And people are probably sick of hearing us, yet in the last little while we've been getting plenty of messages from people with suggestions, which is always good, and saying that they actually bother to listen to this shit. So we apologise, and thanks for listening. Yeah, first one went live 10 months ago, so we mustn't have pushed that out until Feb. Oh Jesus, mate. This is a PG rated show. I'm not sure dudes with shirts off rates. Do you get any car related Christmas presents, EG?
I did. I got a Repco gift card, and I got a
Repco. They got up to 60% off in store at the moment, mate. So you should be able to get it.
Yeah, up to.
Yeah, you should get it about retail price now.
They're not that bad. Repco aren't that bad. Some of the stuff is bad, but they have a lot of things, which is good. Much better range as well sometimes. But
well, I got $100 gift card for Super Cheap, so mine's gonna go further than yours.
I don't know about that. Like, I've been to Super Cheap and I had a look around, and they're not super cheap anymore. They used to be like really good price, but now I don't think. Like, I rarely go to Super Cheap these days.
You don't have to
it's mostly Repco.
You don't have to be jealous, mate. Just, mate, you're not even about to buy an oil filter with that.
Huh?
You probably won't even get an oil filter at Repco for your gift card, so I wish you
luck.
No,
you can.
I wish you luck.
So if you get your own RMA, you get 20% off as well some months.
Some months.
It's 10% off normally, and some months is 20, or weekends or days or whatever. But no, Repco's good. The staff there are nice generally. I have a few mates working there. Yeah, Steve used to work there.
Yeah, now he's moved up in the world and he's selling paintbrushes at Bunnings.
I don't know if that's up. I think I'd rather be working at Repco than Bunnings.
Yeah, probably, but you know.
Yeah. What else did I get? I got some tools as well. A hex socket set. I don't know what it's called. So it has
an Allen key set.
Is that what it's called?
I don't know.
So they've got the hex sets, and then they go onto your normal ratchets.
Yeah. I bet it's still like an Allen key, but it's I don't know.
Like you've got the torque bits, and you've got
like Allen key sockets,
multi-side. Yeah. So and they go up to 12, I think.
So you can do all your head studs and stuff like that, mate.
Yeah, that's
that's why you got them.
Yeah, because I was complaining about some things, and yeah, so that's probably why I got given them.
You said you were complaining about some things?
No, it doesn't happen. That's really rare.
Oh, okay. Shock horror.
Yeah.
I thought that was lies.
What about yourself? What did you get?
Nah, fuck all. I got my $100 gift card and some other little bits and pieces, but that's it. I don't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't expect much for Christmas, so.
Oh, actually, I got something really cool from Jake. It was some.
That he left.
Sockets. Yeah, he left today.
Yeah, but that's what I meant. Was that the cool present?
That he left? Yeah, I don't know. I like driving with Jake.
Did you all shed a
I don't know about you, because he broke your car, didn't he?
Did you all shed a little tear as he drove off?
No, we didn't.
You guys are just rude.
He'll be back. I think he shed a tear, actually. He looked more sad than we
did. As he should. He's going to live in the Northern Territory.
What's wrong with the Northern Territory?
Crocodiles?
Have a crocodile as a pet in the Northern Territory.
Yeah, until it rips your leg off.
Yeah, just don't let it get that big before you let it go.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think it's the only state/territory that you can actually have a crocodile as a pet.
You can actually own one as a pet? I thought we were just taking the piss.
Yeah. No, because I met one of the guys that came to Japan with us, had lived in Catherine as well for 3 years, and they had a crocodile as a pet, along with all these other weird and wacky animals. But the crocodile was like the most dangerous, I thought.
Yeah, but just because it's in your backyard doesn't make it your pet.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, oh yeah, it's my backyard.
No, this is a legit pet. Like, they
sits
had
on your
to go.
lap and...
Well, I think they just kept it in the bathroom or something. I don't even know. Hopefully they're listening and they can sort of say exactly what, because I do listen occasionally.
All 2 people that are listening.
Oh, is that all?
Yeah, we ain't got nothing. It's probably also because this shit keeps dropping out, so.
Okay.
That's alright.
Alright. Okay. Well, we are live on YouTube, aren't we?
Yeah, we are live on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's just me and you watching on YouTube currently.
I'm trying to watch on Facebook, but it's not working.
Now I'm going to be blamed for all these technical difficulties today, aren't I?
Good. Good. Alright, so news. Do we have any news to begin with?
Not really. Just Drift Games, what used to be IDC, is IDC, whatever you want to call it, is been doing a bunch of their content stuff, so keep an eye on their YouTube channel. I don't know if anybody's caught the first episode of The Undriftables, but it's one of the Irish drivers basically doing a sort of spoof show. And it's pretty funny if you watch it as a drifter and you sort of understand some of the jokes within it, I guess. So go on to, they post everything onto the Facebook page, but then the full length videos are all on YouTube. So have a look at Drift Games on YouTube. Racing Line just put out a sick video that I haven't watched yet, but comments say that it's sick. It was put out yesterday. So Racing Line Australia Facebook page
SA?
from SA Summer Series, the first round. So they've got a big video that's just come up from that. It's about 5.5 minutes long. So get around that.
Adam LZ's coming to Australia.
Adam LZ is indeed coming to Australia. He'll be at Archerfield in February, just after their year kicks back up again, because they're off now until February, or the start of Feb. Yeah. And then this weekend is the North Circuit event at Sydney Motorsport Park. I think there's still a handful of spots for Figure 8 and Wet Pan. Main circuit, you have to contact them directly because, yeah, they're not wanting people who are dirt drop, which will probably be everybody. But really, I think mostly down the hill into the link road is where most people end up in the dirt. I might go out, but if it's like 1,000 degrees, I'll probably only sit in the car with the AC on and then have a quick look and then leave.
Because what's the weather like in Sydney? Because in Canberra, they're 39 in Canberra.
Today it's hot. Let's have a look. Let's tell you weather predictions for.
Because Sydney should be more humid and even hotter, I think.
Sunday is
41.
Supposed to be a mild 38 degrees. If you haven't dropped out. Yeah, so yeah, it's supposed to be hotter on Saturdays, 39. So take plenty of water. Make sure you do plenty of cool down laps with a ambient temperature that high, and the fact that the track temperature is probably going to be 70 degrees or so if you put your hands on it, I would imagine. Cars are going to cook fairly quickly. It's probably almost lucky you're not driving, EG, because considering how quickly your car overheats, it'll probably be overheating before you even left the pit lane.
Yeah, I haven't gone around to that water pump yet.
Switch it on and it just boils already.
Yeah. You
should just put plain water in it in a tea bag in the top of the radiator, and then just, considering it just pumps it out anyway, teacup is your overflow bottle, and just pump it all out into that.
No, I need to fix that. I hope a water pump fixes it. I really hope it fixes it.
And then I think that's it for the next little while, I think, within Australia.
Summernats.
Yeah, Summernats. Not this weekend, next weekend. It looks like they'll be drifting. John sort of gave us a rundown-ish the other week, but it looks like they will be coming out of the scrutineering sheds into the small yard between Tough Street, or what was Tough Street, or part of Tough Street, into into a little lot. Doesn't look like a whole lot of space, so it'd be interesting to see how they've used the space.
Yeah.
Hopefully they'll do some, put them out in the maiden burnout pad for a little bit, but
no, burnout pad's tiny.
I don't think that other area is much bigger than that.
Yeah, I think it is bigger, like almost 50% larger. Maybe even more than that. Maybe it could be double. Could be 50 to 100%.
I'm gonna try and believe you because you're the local, but I'm also gonna Google Maps and.
The burnout pad's tiny. It's freaking tiny. It's like 2 lanes wide.
Okay, that area is probably like 4 lanes wide, but not very long.
Yeah.
So probably half the length of the total burnout area. Well,
yeah.
Probably the same length as the tip-in area, and then to where the box ends. And
well, that's why they're going to use the shed as a run-up as well.
Yeah.
So they're going to start in the shed, drive out, and then try and make something work.
Yeah, it'll be good. So hopefully that goes well. And I think that'll pretty much wrap the season. Really, I would say that Salmon Nats is the end of the season, not the start of the season, because then I think there's a little bit of downtime. Then we roll straight into the Australia Day event down at the Bend that Stewie was talking about last week. So, are you still planning on trying to make it down there for that?
No, I'm overspent at the moment.
Yeah, gotta find himself a street corner to stand on.
Yeah, if that works out well, then I'll head down there.
Get your short skirt out. So what do you think your first event for next year will be?
I don't know. I'm definitely going to go to the Revolution Day. That's in April.
I don't know if are those dates public yet?
Could be. I don't know.
I don't think they are, but it's out. So yeah, there's a Revolution date in April. So yeah, that might be my first as well. I might try and get a shakedown and figure out before then.
You commented in one of our previous shows the first day.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
And then will you try and get up to Port at all? Or you'll see what's on up at Port and try and make a trip up?
Yeah, I think it depends. It really depends on who's going and what event's going on. But yeah, I really should try and get some work done on the 180 because that's had zero. It's been sitting on the trailer for 6 months now, I think. When was the second last Revo Day? No, it's the third last Revo Day. So it's the second Revo Day this year. That's when it blew up.
Yeah, Jesus. So it's been.
So that
would have been just after Mount Gambier then. Oh no, Mount Gambier didn't even take the 180. Yeah,
maybe it was even longer.
Yeah, it's probably been. Yeah, it's been even longer, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, get that up and running, and hey, I'll sell you my motor if we ever actually get it back from Queensland Police.
Okay. Yeah. I'll see.
I know you want to do your fancy built. I know you want to do your fancy built motor and all that sort of stuff.
I do. Something with a little bit more power. Well, something equivalent to my Japan car would be nice, but I think that step is too small. So the amount of money it costs that, it's probably better if I. No?
I don't know. I missed half of it because.
Oh, okay. That's internet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. The more I miss the SR a little bit, but I think about how much money I spent on that, and just how much it is to rebuild them after something happens, and then I sort of think back to when DeWar showed up to Mount Gambier 2017 with the Manger in the
Buick motor
in the 14, and I was just like, fuck, like if I knew how to fabricate, yeah, you'd just do silly stuff like that and just go
Man,
on.
You say that, but I've seen some crazy looking engine mounts, and I'm pretty sure I could do a better job than some of these engine mounts that I've seen.
Yeah, you probably could. I've got not much of an idea of what I'm doing, so.
I'm really bad at welding. I could probably weld enough so I won't die, but if it falls apart, then it's not a surprise.
Yeah, but I look at that and sort of think that motor, what do you reckon? $200 from a bloody wrecker?
Oh, you probably got it free from the side of the road.
Yeah. Yeah, when what are you paying for bloody blown up SRs if it's got bottom end knock? You're looking at like $1,500 or something. You look shocked with a water bottle in your hand, and that's all I got.
1,000.
Yeah, it's silly. So you sort of think the fact that you could blow up 5 of them and buy new ones that are still running for the price of a blown up SR is just.
Yeah. They were asking way too much for bottom end knock SRs, especially when they've still got the turbo on them. Because usually they've spun a bearing because of oil starvation or oil contamination. So, and if say the oil is contaminated with like bits of metal, it could also be in the turbo. So if you separate the turbo, then that's still contaminated. You chuck it into another engine, and then you're gonna throw another bearing. So it's probably a really bad type of engine to buy, or to even part out or buy things from.
Yep, unless it's coming fully apart to be fully built. So.
Yeah.
And that's provided a machine shop actually does a good job of cleaning the bloody thing.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think line head gasket's probably better. Less issues.
Or you put a Manger in it because it's just cheaper.
Oh yeah, it sounds horrible. Sounds like Steve. Have you ever heard Steve's 86?
Yeah.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
Okay. When did you hear that?
The Orion V6 one?
Yeah.
For years, like out at Figure 8, stuff like that. My favourite's when it.
Oh.
Yeah, my favourite's on Figure 8 because it drinks up a whole lot of oil or has it all splash around or does something weird, he told me. And then all of a sudden, once he lets off throttle and it sort of starts to coast, it just pops a big amount of smoke out the back. So, it's just, yeah, just wonderful.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I've been looking at stuff like that, and I'm like, oh, it's just, yeah, the basics just seem just so much smarter.
Sounds like you're trying to convince yourself to an LS conversion.
An LS conversion into my. I've been having other thoughts lately. So, but.
Oh really?
But it's not an LS conversion into a 350. So.
SR.
An SR? Hell no! I just complained about how expensive they are. Nah, no way. I would not bother. I don't know. Hopefully, once the 350's back up and running. Well, it's currently running. We're just having issues with the electronic throttle, so gotta have a look at some electric stuff and see if it's how deep it runs. But yeah, currently it won't rev, so it idles, but it won't rev. So something funky going on there. After that, it should run and be fine, and then it will just be time to order my WiseFab kit that Blake's donating to me.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Rich Blake and all the holidays he's going to give us.
Definitely all the holidays he's going to give us. Yeah, I don't know. I am seriously considering WiseFab on the Z because I looked at my front wheels and they're shagged after that one event at bloody Wakefield, and it makes me upset. Where if I got WiseFab, then I don't have to worry about chewing front tires so badly. So I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that they were so crappy and understeery that wasn't good either. When you say we need more carbs, Logan, have you seen how fat both of us are? We don't need more carbs, mate.
Where are you seeing that on?
Facebook comments.
Oh, okay.
I think he means the other carbs, but I don't know if he's talking about like carbohydrates. Yeah, we don't need them.
I think he's talking about carbohydrates.
Okay, definitely.
That sort of thing. Yeah.
He likes us thick.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
A few things that I picked up as well. Which I only realised you dropped out again.
Yeah, we dropped out again, so it's gonna restart again on. We're back on YouTube. We're not back on Facebook.
Okay.
I don't know why it's crashing.
The lovely infrastructure that the Australian government has given us. That our taxes have been paying for.
My upload speeds are still pretty good.
Okay. Maybe it's just Facebook.
Nah, or it's my computer.
Oh, yeah.
Or it's my computer doing
live video
stuff.
has ended.
Yeah.
That's irritating. I'd be so annoyed if I was watching this on Facebook.
Yeah, me too. Go to YouTube. Yeah, it's in 4 parts currently.
Why would you even bother listening to this show?
I don't know. I wouldn't. That's why we talk on it. Yeah, so hopefully the Z can be up and running, and to start with, I'm probably going to keep it fairly local once it's up and running. You have to come up and visit and do some figure 8 with me, mate.
Can I crash into your door? Like actually crash? I'm not going to touch you. I'm gonna absolutely smash into your door.
You can if you've already found me a door to replace it with.
No, I have none of that stuff. That stuff doesn't come up because Z parts are expensive. Well, Zs are expensive.
No.
I don't know about the parts.
So please don't do it. And the fact that it's somebody anniversary edition color, so no matter what, it's going to need a paint. So unless you've got some Team Red Stage vinyl down there.
Oh, I'll have to check.
then you're just going to do the one door.
Yeah. You need to buy another car. A practice car. An actual practice car.
I don't know what my plan is anymore, mate. I don't know.
Oh, you couldn't drifting.
Nah. Not going that far. just taking my time. Yeah. Feel like I should do adult things. Like sit on the internet and judge people.
How boring.
Hey, you're the one selling all your parts now.
What parts?
He's having a yard sale at his, so help him fund his buddy SAR build.
No,
I didn't hear anything you said.
Okay, alright. So there are some parts for sale, but I won't be getting back to messages until after the break. So, what's with that look on your face?
I don't know, just trying to keep up with buddy comments and messages and trying to make this run.
Okay. So next year. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Look, from our end, we're trying to make it more organised. We say that, but we won't. But we had a message from a guy the other day. He said to try and get Alexi Smith to come on. I know EG's been working on trying to get Alexi for a little while. It'd be interesting just to chat to him, and for a bunch of the people who've been in the scene only a little while to actually realise how much he did for drifting in Australia and drifting in New South Wales in general before he was Noriaro and all famous on the internet and all that. I think that would be good to grab him and get him on that rather than the same stuff that he gets grabbed onto Maximum Driftcast and all those sort of podcasts to all that stuff to cover.
Yeah.
Because
I felt sometimes it wasn't really about Alexi. They just sort of wanted him there to bash on some of the other guys that he was associated with.
Yeah, and it's like for more current information, but he's been around for a long time, and yeah, he was a big part of drifting in New South Wales. So
huge.
Yeah.
He did a lot of things. Like he.
Hey,
His
don't talk about it too much. You got no, don't even talk about him. If he wants to come on, we'll share his story.
When I met up with him in Japan, he was a little bit annoyed that I didn't ask him to come on. But I kind of felt I was out of place asking him to come onto the show.
Yeah.
So that's why I didn't actually approach him.
Yeah, well, if he wants to be on, then he's welcome to come on. And then, yeah, there are a few other people that we're going to try and have lined up. A few people are a bit reluctant, but hopefully as we roll into a few of the other up again, we can get some of those guys on for it to be a little bit more relevant. Yeah, I don't know what our plan is for next week. We haven't really discussed it all that much, but after Summer Nats, we'll try and grab one of the guys who's driven the demos, even if it's somebody we've had before. But it'd just be interesting to get perspective on what people thought, considering it is the crowd shows up to that event for a specific reason, and it'll be interesting to see with the introduction of this stuff that how the crowd takes it, really. So
yeah, I think the crowd has changed as well, because it's not like it used to be, which is a good and bad thing. So it's kind of wild before, and that was enjoyable, but I can see how it was wild and not safe. Not safe.
Yeah.
So
it'll just be interesting to see how it gets received.
Yeah, well, they did have drifting before, remember?
Did they? I don't know.
Yeah, remember they had the guy throw all the rocks into the crowd, and they had the guy crash into the fence.
Oh yeah, but that's
some lady.
Mate, you did say Formula Drift isn't even drifting, and you're gonna claim that as drifting?
And people don't know the difference. So people's perceptions are the same. Whereas I would have said, oh no. Yeah. Anyway, it's a big power slide around that oval.
It's not even a power slide on dirt, it just slides.
No, it's a power slide. Just definitely, with the amount of rocks that are coming up, it's definitely a power slide.
I like that. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Dirt Turbo is now known as a power slide in EG's books.
There's that, and then we're working on a few more things. I have another person from Japan who actually who messaged asking if we're interested in getting him on as well. So maybe we might, if it lines up with something, because I told him it has to be kind of real. Well, we want to keep it relevant, and
it doesn't have to be. If the person's interesting and we've got no crap to talk about that week, then
so basically he's just a fill-in.
No, it's just
it's a filler episode.
Nah, not really. Like there's not stuff happening every week, so it's just a matter of like some people just have interesting stories, and others sort of are a little bit less relevant to an event. So.
And he's actually a local in that area, so he's from, I think you'd call it West Japan. So, and they do get visitors from Australia over there, and he is Australian, so we might get him on. We'll see anyway. He's actually back in Australia, I think, at some point as well, so I don't know when we'll do it. Maybe.
Does he do YouTube?
You would have seen his videos, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched the Osaka street drifting video?
Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it's quite old. It's probably 10 plus years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The one where it runs the curb and there's a Big Sparks and stuff. No.
Oh, that's
Oh
well,
no.
no, he
Now I've got
takes
yeah
video.
now I've got another name
That.
that I'm thinking.
Yeah, it's not that guy in the video, and we don't know who that guy in the video is, do we?
I don't know.
Okay.
Are we talking about the guy who starts with L now? No.
Yeah.
Okay, now I think I've switched on to who it is. I went through a few other people first. Fuck, I've been a drift stalker for way too long. So, who's your dream pick for trying to get on the show next year?
Ooh, trying to get on.
Yeah, if we can, like, who would be your like ideal person to try and get on the show next year? Who would you love to see come on?
No. I don't really have.
Who do you feel like would be an achievement to get on? I feel like getting Alexion would be an achievement.
Nah.
Or more so because he's actually got a good following. And if Yates sticks to his word and we can get Yates on, I feel like we'll have cracked the shell a little bit on that one.
He'll be interesting for a specific reason, but otherwise, I kind of watched him drive, and yeah, it's good, but I think he's what he does shows itself, and I don't really asking him questions seems kind of redundant.
Yeah, but I guess most people don't know where he's come from and sort of origins in the sport. It's sort of always been Bo the pro, so be good for a few people to hear where he began and how he kept the lights of Sutherland well and truly checked for the safety of all local residents. So
even his like I remember seeing him one time. He's talking to a fan or like maybe a friend that's a fan, and that guy's interested in getting an 8.6 and then to start drifting in practice, and then Bo's an 8.6 guy, but he sort of said, oh, you're probably better off with like a Sylvia because they're cheaper, there's more parts, and sort of like try to steer him away and sort of giving him good advice, and which is good. Like I think when I saw that, I thought, yeah, that's really good that he's actually giving better advice rather than sort of I don't know, something else that you could go leads one way, like you need like a million horsepower, or you need you should do that because it'd be cool to have more people buying his gear and things like that. So yeah, it was good to see that sort of thing, and that's why what he does, I think, actually like I don't feel like I need to talk to him about that. He already sort of shows it off and explains it.
Yeah, I don't know. It'd be just good for people to understand working their way through a system.
Yeah, some of the other things are like how he actually runs and manages his cars. I have no idea how he does that.
Get a really good partner.
Yeah, well, that's probably I have no idea. I don't know. So that's what I would be more interested in is.
If you follow any of the FD guys, it's the same deal. Look at Mad Mike, people like that. But behind every great drifter, there's a woman who runs the program.
Yeah, that's probably it. But yeah, Alexa would be good to get on.
Is there anybody sort of a little bit outside the norm that you'd want, or somebody from overseas that you'd like to have on?
No, well, I thought Mesner would be interesting. So, because I met him at the start of this year when I went to the Wake Round at High Tech. I had a chat with him, and then his thought process as well about why he chose to do High Tech, and I think it was well thought out, and it wasn't sort of reason why I heard the most, and so that's why it was really impressive. Should get him on earlier, but we didn't. But that's all right.
Yeah, I think we're gonna. He was a little bit resistant when I spoke to him at Wakefield at the final round, but I got a message when he was in the middle of a storm on the way home from down here on his way to northern Queensland, and he will come on to an episode. So we'll probably try and get him in the lead up to the beginning of next season. So, or next high tech season. So he's got a lot of travel to do next year. So it'll be interesting to follow him and see how he progresses and the decision that he's made to which level of the series he's decided to drive. So I know he had basically made a decision, but that may change depending on how things go with the program for him. So he had a nice little video come up of him doing a skit at work in the car park at work for Christmas.
Did he?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. I didn't see that.
See, this is what happens when you don't add people on Facebook, mate.
Oh, I've got him on Facebook. So, another person that might be interesting, or actually two others, will be the guy from Northern Territory with the Falcon.
Yep. Oh, he looks like he's lining himself up for a big year.
Yeah. And
or maybe Matt Harvey. Maybe Matt Harvey will finally come on. That'd be a.
Yeah, I've given up on him.
Fucking Matt.
I wanted to get him on earlier, but he just. No.
He keeps blowing us both off. So.
Yeah. Oh, whatever. And
you sound hurt, mate.
Nah, it's alright. Well, just a little bit, maybe. Possibly Jake Jones might be interesting as well, because I'm curious to know why he's doing things the way he is. Because to me, he's kind of just sort of plateaued and hasn't really changed.
But his social media profile has now grown.
Yeah. See, I remember watching his videos at the start of the year, and it doesn't seem to be that different.
Yeah, that doesn't. Yeah, but just because it's different doesn't mean that it hasn't grown. Because just by putting more content out, people follow you, then more people become regular followers. So, but he was also over in Thailand, China.
Now?
Nah, this weekend just passed. He was driving in a comp.
Okay. Oh, was he? Yeah, because I think I saw, but I see more from Charles.
Yeah, Charles was at the same competition.
Yeah, I think he won that competition. Charles would be interesting.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe you can get Charles on. I'm guessing his English is good.
Yeah, he lived in America for a long time, and he's from Hong Kong, and they're pretty much half English, half Chinese. So, yeah, but I don't think does Jake Jones' videos actually the viewing increased?
Yeah, I think so.
Time I looked, they're sort of all around the same sort of level. So it's not like you see ones that are a lot and then keep gaining. It just seems to be a sort of constant 1 to 2,000.
No, he's up into the 4s and 5s now.
Okay.
Yeah, so he did a video with. While we're on the topic, he did a video with Mad Mike, and Mad Mike's going to put just a 20B, well, I'm saying just a 20B, but a NA20B into his old MX5 that he used over in FDUS, and then took the Wisefab out of it and put like a cut and shut sort of basic setup in it, and was like, I just wanted to show people you can go out on radials and do a whole bunch of laps, with a 390 horsepower basic steering setup and all this sort of stuff, and then it's like, but at the start of the weekend, I forgot that I had a long gear ratio in my quick change because the last time I drove it was at Albert Park for that demo that he did with Daniel Ricciardo. Yeah, the car was still highly strung at that point, but yeah, I forgot to change the ratio after we changed the motor. But luckily with the Hollinger 6-speed sequential, we're able to select gears. And I was just like, oh, well, that sort of semi defeats the purpose of
proving an example of low power or
yeah, like
basic setup. Yeah.
Yeah, and it sort of got me thinking though. Like, I know this is a little bit off topic now from what we are talking about before, but do you think it would be what would be better? Do you drop 20k on a quick change and a 6-speed sequential dog box, like, and only run low horsepower so that you can flat change and you don't really need that huge amount of power up top, or you're better off getting something that you can leave in one gear with a crap load of power and then basically just leave it in that gear and drive?
I've got no experience with a gear set like that.
Yeah, it'd just be I'm just
guess that my style would be to change the gearbox.
Yeah, I just sort of look at it as they sort of both sort of serve the same purpose where you can
if it's 400 horsepower, then probably change the gearbox.
Oh yeah, of course. But this is what I'm saying. Or do you go, do you go 800,000? Yeah,
800,000
yeah. We're just saying with a crap, or just a crap load of torque. Yeah, crap load of torque. Leave it in one gear and smoke it the whole way. I wonder over time which one would pay for itself better. But I guess you got to remember that those gear sets. The gear set should be fine, but the dog rings will flog out on them, so they still need constant servicing. So
I reckon horsepower will probably
work out cheaper in the long run.
Well, I think it would be more beneficial for if you're going to be competitive and speed courses, then those shifts aren't going to really affect you very much. If you're doing like low speed, then you're probably constantly shifting, and that's probably when that sort of style box would help you.
Yeah.
But if you're just racing, then it's good horsepower.
Yeah. Sideways drag racing. But yeah, I just thought that was interesting. Basic setup can go on radials, all this sort of stuff, and then it's still got probably $25,000 in driveline.
Yeah, it's probably more than that.
Probably about 25,000.
How much is quick change? Like 10k?
Nah. I think only like 5 or 6.
Really? Is it that cheap?
Yeah, it's not crazy. It depends on who's done your. That's just for the winters and your shafts, but then you've got to do your subframe and all that. Okay, let's call it 10. So let's say $30,000 like drivetrain.
Yeah. Okay.
Car sounds cool though.
Of course it does. It's a rotary.
Just got no nuts down low.
It's 20V, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Really want to drive.
You need to try and get Mad Mike on the show, and maybe he'll let you come over and drive his car.
What's his name? Comas has a 20V.
Yeah, and he's A86.
Yeah. I think he'll let me go for a spin that, maybe. If he's running. He had lots of issues at Wakefield. I don't know how he went at
the bend.
SA though. Yeah. Yeah. It'd be interesting to see anyway.
So, favorite guest that we've had this year? Who's your
favorite?
Who's your, or I guess who's your notables?
Notables. Without Are we going to offend people if we don't include them? So do we just limit
No,
out the
I
whole
don't give a
list?
shit.
So I like Stewie last week. That was a good episode. Michael as well. Michael, how do you pronounce the drift bit
Yeah,
guy?
drift bit. Yeah, we're gonna try and get. Yeah, we're gonna try and get. Well, no, I have still been chatting to Michael. There's been a lot going on in the background for him and things he couldn't say, things he can say. But I think as of January, he's a little bit more free to say stuff. And yeah, I'll let him. I think he's overseas at the moment. Seems to travel a lot. And yeah, we'll try and get him. Well, as soon as he can, he will be back on the show. So we'll try and line him up for early next year and see where he's at, and if he needs some crowd help again, then we can get him behind him and see if we can get a product happening. So yeah, that's a bit of an update on Michael.
Jack Shanahan.
Yeah, Jack was
just cool. He's like yeah, I didn't know anything about his background, and when he sort of told his story and the way he sort of thinks, and yeah, it's a really good way of approaching professional drifting
and just life in general, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, young guy, old head.
Yeah.
But still really young. In some ways. After the episode, he missed his flight again, and yeah, end up flying out the next day or a later flight or something. But that's Jack. He needs a babysitter for flights. And they've announced. Well, Drift Games is claiming that he's going to be doing both Drift Masters and Drift Games Extreme, but I don't know how confirmed that is, and even from the interview that they're claiming that he said that he'd be doing both, didn't really sound like he was both. So, yeah, we'll see what he does, and we'll get back in touch with Jack at some stage early next year.
Yep. Who else do we have? Ben Meir was interesting. There was Blake for a different reason, but I think it's because we talk to him all the time. Trying to keep him on topic is hard because he deviates often to his agenda. I don't know. Who else do we have on?
We had lots of people. We've had Mitch Doyle, Troy Lipshinsky. We had John Dreyer the other week. We've had Michael Solomon this year. We had the Cursed Sunday boys, so we better say that they were fucking awesome, or else they're gonna get deeply offended. We had Joel from Gravy Garage early in the year.
Yes, he was one of our first, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was one of our first when we were going. I think we were live and trying to do the Skype in thing, so that was a bit of a stretch for us at that stage. Abusive messages.
Nah, you won't. Nah. No. Yeah, he. Oh, yeah. No. Not abusive.
That's not abusive.
No. Maybe threatening.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Bloody Facebook's dropped out again. Look, I apologise that this stuff's been shit, but what can you do? Are we still live? I don't know. No, it's been a big year, and even with us being as unorganised as we have been at times, we sort of managed to get a lot of interesting people to join us on the show, and I hope that for anybody who's listened over the year and has actually bothered listening to the end of episodes, that it's been informative or just been good. I know a few people listen because the sort of the crap that we talk, even though some of it's just mindless dribble, is the sort of crap talk when they're on the road that they like, because a few people this is the sort of conversation they want to sit down and have with their mates, and to be able to have something like this to listen to that's a little bit more relevant. You know, we've got Maximum Driftcast that you can listen to, but unless you really love, FD, then it's not.
Yeah, sometimes I don't even know who the guests are, like, unless I've seen them on YouTube somewhere. I don't follow enough FD to actually know the guests.
Yeah.
Or what they're talking about, what car, what event, because I haven't watched them at all.
Yeah. So maybe we could get our opposition in the Drift podcast to come on, EG.
Yeah, how are they going? They tagged us for some reason. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Not us.
no.
Us,
they tag Team Red Stage.
Yeah.
Did you send them a message being like, "Hey, can you please take down my tag? You're the opposition."
I don't know. Well, it was one of the videos I created a long time ago. I'm pretty sure it's muted.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that because you're always rude?
No, it's the audio, the song that I used was copyrighted, and I took it down. So I put it up on Vimeo, and then I take it down there. I was trying to use unknown songs like here or like in America, and that didn't work.
Yeah, that's what we need for this. We need an introduction song that doesn't have isn't copyrighted. So if anybody,
I don't even know how Maximum Driftcast get away with theirs. Do you think they pay for it?
Yeah, or if it's under a certain length.
Like 30 seconds, like you're allowed to sample.
It's basically like if you're walking through if you're a vlogger or something and it happens to be playing on somebody's radio in a car as they drive past you, that it doesn't automatically. Or I guess if you're at a festival or something and you can try and cut out some of the noise as opposed to just having it actually playing over the top. There is a way around it too. If you change the pitch of, and this is what some of the people I know through skating have been able to do, because it happens a lot with skating videos, is you change the pitch of the audio a little bit so it doesn't, and it can normally get you past it.
Oh wow.
Because unless somebody sends in a request for a review, which then takes an actual person at YouTube to go in and have a look at the video, where you can get past its analytics engine thingy, whatever. You can tell me you're the IT person. You can get past it by doing that. So yeah,
interesting story.
Hey, and this year, EG's learnt to talk, which was our big battle.
I haven't.
Which was our big battle at the start of the year. No, you would just let it flow and carry if it's there and if it's not. You look at me like I'm supposed to keep it going, so like now.
Yeah, definitely.
Which means I have to pay attention to the screen.
Yeah, I know. So no, I have learnt a little bit. I've actually realised something last week as well, that what we should be doing is, or I think what we should be doing is, sort of when someone like a guest says something, and then we can understand it, but if the audience can't really get it, then we would rephrase it in a simpler, quicker way.
Like as in when Stewie was trying to explain his competition format.
Yeah.
I didn't even understand to start with.
And it's explaining that battle part, and then I think our job would be, after we hear the explanation, for those people that didn't understand, we would condense it into like a 30-second sort of
layman's terms.
Yeah, easy to understand, and then hopefully we get it right.
Yeah, and even if we don't, well, it gives the other person a little bit of peace of mind that maybe somebody understood a part of it.
Yeah.
Actually, what do you think of that format? Not
it's interesting.
Just the actual battle part, just the battle section of it. Like thinking if there was ever to be something sort of kick up in New South Wales again or anything like that, that it would actually sort of be an interesting format to run, because I guess I tried to do something similar with Super Drift to try and give more practice time at the first round. I did what I did was a random battle draw, but that created issues within itself, because then you could end up with, what should be the finals as the first battle of the night. But giving
so I didn't like that idea, but
more the fact that we're restricted to 4 hours on a track that you can't have everybody gridded up at the same time, and your transit time to absolutely kill your track time. So that was more the thought process behind that. But the fact that it's when you look at the system that they're running, and it can be I guess you're out there almost as a team drift, or a tandem drift team in your battles, because if you can do a really sick lead run and open up for a really sick chase, then you can both do really well and move on to the next stage. So
it's interesting, because I try and whenever there's a scenario like that, I try and think of like worst case scenario, best case scenario, some weird scenario, and see how it plays out. And if it's easy to copy someone else's idea, and I think I haven't thought about enough to see if there's any flaws or benefits. So it's really hard to say if
the biggest flaw I see in it is, say you are a heaps better driver than me and you lay down a sick lead run, and then on my lead run I totally fuck it up from the beginning and go spearing off into the kitty litter, and you've entered on my door and you follow me in. Are you getting a 10, or are you getting a 0, or are you getting a 5, when the reality is if you did a sick lead and that's how it sort of ended up, you should probably be getting like a 10, or it should be some sort of aggregated score off your next battle. If you do a really good job chasing on your next battle behind a clean chase run, then you can bump up the score from your previous one where the other dude's totally fucked it up.
Well, yeah, that's what he explained a little bit, that if that did happen, then that particular section would be dropped, and you'd only be judged for the other sections.
But what I'm saying is, if you never actually finish the rest of the course because the other guys totally messed you up on your first corner.
Well, that would be dropped, and you'd only
judge off the off the entry itself.
The entry, and that's it, and that's the rules, I guess. So.
And with that sort of system you could totally drop, for a one-day event, you could totally drop qualifying altogether. You just put it in the random draw from the beginning and do 3 battles where you collect your points.
Yeah.
I guess it's similar to what Rally was.
He did say it worked. He said it worked, but it's still there is that issue. If it's random, then you have to have some sort of qualifying system, like, to begin with.
Oh, provided you're over your allotted numbers. I'm more talking about the fact that if, in regards to if you're under time constraints and you've only got a one-day event happening.
Yeah, I think you would have to have some sort of qualifying, because you don't want. The scenario would be like a really, really beginner guy, and maybe there's half of the field are really, really new beginner guys that have only done one drift day, and then going up against, say, a whole bunch of new guys, like guys that have been around for 10 plus years. This is like the worst case scenario, like a really bad scenario. And then you group together like a whole bunch of bad people plus one good person in that sort of group of 4. Then how do you work that out without qualifying?
What do you mean? Why does it matter?
Because if you round robin without that, and then it's not really Oh wait, so with Stewie's one, you'd only go up against one other person. So you'd be going up against, say,
No, they went up against two.
Two people.
Yeah, in the top 32, you did 2 battles.
Yeah,
With 2
but that was
different people.
all. Yeah, it was like 16 and 32.
No, it was 1 and 32, like 1 and 16 or something.
And you had to do it.
Yeah, so that number 1 qualifier still had to verse the worst qualifier.
Okay. So, but you still have to have that, because otherwise, if it's completely random, then you'd still come up with a score, but that would be qualifying.
Well, you just draw names out of a hat and put it into a tree.
Yeah, so that's random. But then if you put them into the tree, then you have, say you have 3. So if you've made them
I understand. So you're saying if there's one good person against, and their first battle is against a shit, their 2 battles end up against 2 shit people.
Yeah, they should be better anyway, but doesn't actually show the other 2 people off as well.
Yeah, but the lead runs will be what decides whether or not they've even got a chance of making it through.
And chase.
Well,
it's about because they score each.
No. I get that, but if you can't put down a decent lead for somebody to do a good chase ball run, then it doesn't really matter. Your chase run's probably going to suck too.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's not. I think it sort of becomes redundant at that stage. It's like saying that, oh, this person's really good at chasing, but they're no good at leading. Carl, no, we're not. Just a second, Carl, we're not confused by Stewie's system. We're more talking if you were to go fully random. If somebody was trying to run the format under a one-day competition and trying to do without qualifying.
So I think you can do no qualifying if there was like a prerequisite comp. So like say these guys had already competed in, say, like a club event or like a state event.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it matters that much. And the problem is if you run 2 battles in your top 32, you've got to run through top 32 twice. So that's going to kill your time already. So you become like the whole thing becomes super slow.
Yeah, but that's the other thing is if you get guys that are also coming off all the time instead of spearing off and getting stuck in the dirt or needing to be recovered because they just don't have that experience in drifting at all. Like I'm talking about completely new people that enter a drift comp. And they could be really good, they could be really bad. But this is like, just think of the absolute worst.
But I guess
the worst cases, and then put that into there and see how it works out.
But I guess the problem is that most people have at any event is they'll go, oh, I'm just going to drive by myself to save the car. When if you were to do without qualifying, you're not trying to practice solo runs. So you do, the first 15 minutes, half an hour of open practice of the day is solo runs only, and then from then on for the rest of the day or for the rest of pre-battles is tandem runs every single run. You're having to do tandem runs. That encourages people where if you spend the first half of the day being like, oh, I want to qualify well, and then you're so focused on doing just the lead run and you're not worried about trying to actually get yourself in the mode of chasing, then those people never actually improve at chasing. So
yeah, but you're talking about someone who's capable. So
no, it's not even about capable.
About someone that's not capable.
You think about the number of times where you've gone to a new track and you're sort of trying to get your head around it, and then you go chase somebody who knows what they're doing around that track, and then all of a sudden it jumps you up tenfold.
Yeah, but I can still drift it in a really dumb way.
Yeah, but
I'm talking about someone who cannot, who maybe understeers.
You're talking about like one person, 1 or 2 people. Like this isn't Oran Park.
Worst case scenario.
This isn't Oran Park in 2006 anymore. Like.
So no, but that's what I'm saying is, I would do that. So say like half of the.
I don't think you'll ever get half the field that's that shit.
Maybe.
I'll believe it when I see it that half the field is shit.
I've seen some events when, they're not very good. A lot of it aren't.
I don't know. To me, if anything, if a one-day comp was to happen, it wouldn't be a bad format to borrow, and you'd just go 2 or 3 battles in the first round.
Yeah, they also ran into the night as well. Just remember that, like they had.
Oh no, I know they had a lot of track time.
Yeah, so I don't know if a one-day comp would work with that sort of thing. Like you'd have to condense it down to the top 16 in that style.
Oh yeah. Look, I think the reality is.
Or 20, maybe 20-ish.
Yeah. That's probably all you'd be getting for certain places to try and get a comp going anyway. So.
They comp like that.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't been thinking about it as well because it's a different sort of thing. Because I think qualifying is necessary, like a solo pass, just to prove that you can drift. And if you can't, then you're out.
So basically, if you're not deemed as being able to go on big track at North Circuit and get off figure 8 because you can't dirt drop, then don't enter the comp. That's that sort of system.
Yeah, something like that. It's more. It wouldn't be that severe, I guess, but it would be more like having a minimum criteria they need to meet, and if they don't meet that, then they don't get in.
But it's yeah, Carl, I agree with you, but EG agrees with you as well. Carl said that that's not the place for people to be developing skills. They'd be better off at a practice day. But a lot of people end up being like, I just want to compete and show up to comp because they think that's going to be what improves them rather than actually finding a friend or two or meeting a friend or two at the track and actually getting in and practicing tandem battles. The year I did high tech, I treated it, because it was all figure 8 rounds, I treated it a lot like skating, and what I'd try and do is whenever there was a figure 8 event on, I'd try and find one other person and we were staging up. We'd ask just to go 2 cars on track at a driving sport night or at a ADC night, and we'd just go 2 cars and hit a proper lap, stop, swap sides, hit another proper lap, and then that would be our session over. We'd go in and then do it all again, and we're hitting targeted laps like that, and that's why I actually did okay in a few of the rounds. Where going to new places, it's a little bit harder to practice like that, but a lot of people sort of don't think in that way. So, but I think EG's view on it's a little bit extreme, where thinking that people are going to show up who can't even string a lap together. Well, I think that will sort itself out fairly quickly already anyway.
Yeah, I've seen it happen before.
Yeah, but mate, we're not in 2006 anymore.
It still happens a lot. Like, it wasn't a few years ago when I saw that.
Yeah, but with Weissfab and 800 horsepower in a S13, you'll make it around the track. In some way, shape or form. Or you'll go spearing off the track so fast that the other car won't see you and will be able to continue their chase run without a car in front of them.
No, if they're not drifting with Weissfab, then yeah, they're out too.
So, yeah, I wouldn't be too worried on that. And it's the fact that you can be handing that other car a 0 anyway, so it doesn't matter too much.
It's more I'm worried about if you do put them, like, force them into this sort of tandem scenario and they're not capable, man, it's scary shit. If you see some guy who is nailing it and they just make a mistake because they're, like, right on the end, and there's other guy who doesn't know what to do because they're suddenly being pushed into this tandem scenario, and he thinks, oh, I'll just pull the handbrake, and then all that happens is they just sort of like they pull and then they go into that stuff before, and it's I don't want to put anyone into that scenario. Like, it's not.
But you haven't. You're not paying their entry and making them enter, so.
I'm not, but I still don't want that guy just because he made like one small mistake. Or it could even be like something that, like a mechanical failure, just like.
That could happen to anybody though. You could, if anybody lost brakes chasing, they could end up plowing somebody on entry. Like.
But if you're that far away, and then you've still driven into them. It's like, what are you doing? Like you shouldn't be here.
I think you've let
Do you
one.
get it?
I think you've let one person worry you way too much.
Think 10 plus.
Yeah, okay, but how many have actually resulted in an accident?
A lot. Consistently.
Within the last 3 years.
Those people, actually, a lot of those people are out except for one. There's only one left out of that 10
Yeah,
plus.
so there you go. So don't stress about it too much.
They'll be there. They haven't gone. Like, they're still new people that are going to do the same thing, and
but I think part of that's responsibility of your event organizer judges to go down and be like, look, we're gonna score you really shit unless you change what you're doing.
We'll give you. I think it might be, if you're capable, give them a refund and say, hey, you should go to a practice day.
Yeah, or that too. Like
if he's capable.
Yeah. Like
because I know some competitions are pretty tight with the amount of entrants. So if they fill up, they might have like enough. Like they need those entrants to actually keep the event running.
Oh yeah, of course, but yeah. I don't know. When I judged Cash Kings, I was down on the ground being like, I don't like what you're doing. It's not gonna it's not gonna come off well for you. And then the fact that we were a few people.
Yeah, but
a few people.
Most of those guys could drive.
Yeah, and then you'd be surprised. The last few would have been people that you would have said that shouldn't be there, and one ended up doing all right, but purely off the back of a Women of Prayer. I shit you not.
Okay.
It was scary to watch, but he ended up doing okay. And a little bit of it based off luck, and a few just based off throwing hands and praying.
Yeah.
But it was just, yeah, you sort of, you ask them to what you want them to do, and we were even throwing feedback down to the start line because, you know what it's like at Archie now up on that tower in the middle of the track. You can't have spotters up there. And if you want to have a good battle, then you've got to act as a spotter for both. Like at the end of the day, it's about pushing the progression of the sport. If you're talking Formula Drift or D1 or whatever, then yeah, it's a whole team effort that it takes to win. So you need a good spotter and all that sort of stuff. Or particularly if it was called a rerun, or more so when it was called a rerun, you give both drivers feedback as to why it was a rerun, as opposed to giving them no feedback and then both being like, well, I should have won that by a mile already, when you want to get that feedback to them so that the next battle is not just a repeat of exactly what happened before.
But FD, D1, they have classes, and like what Michael said, a class system will help.
Of course, but if it's a one-day event with minimal amount of time and a minimal amount of drivers, as you sort of rebuild something, you're sort of a little bit trapped. We're not all drifting our SA, Michael. All right, mate.
So that's what I consider anyway. So that's why I think you need a solo pass to begin with that completely open category.
So would you do that a day then, like one practice pass each, and then go?
You do 4 laps, because I think if you're entering a competition, you're there to prove yourself. So you've got 4 laps to do to show a good run. So the first lap is first lap's practice. Then you have 3 judged runs.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. So that's where you need to prove yourself, and
because then you can pump qualifying out really early in the day.
Yeah, I'll do it near the start, but I'd probably have it really depends on numbers. Like ideally, I'd want I don't know if you'd call it a practice session, but it's like a shakedown session. So it's more like you take your car out and make sure that it's all good. It's not and you get an idea of the track, but it's not to learn drifting.
Yeah, you got like
so
half an hour for everybody to sort of finally get their cars off trailers, get their shit together before the judges bother to show up to the the judges stand, and then bang, 45 minutes, try and pump through qualifying as quickly as possible.
Yeah. So you shouldn't go to a competition to learn how to drift.
But then would you repeat, and then you have practice again after that, like tandem warm-ups?
What it is, but yeah, I don't even know if it'd be tandem warm-ups.
Nah, you sort of need it. Because you get so focused on trying to do a judge line.
You would. So this is like completely open. Anyone can enter, from someone who's never drifted before to a professional person.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just trying to pick a scenario, because if in each case I would probably do a different thing.
Yeah, but if it's just an open class competition, then
so anyone can enter with whatever. Then I think I would run a warm up.
Yeah, like an hour session where all tandem practice.
Yep. As long as time permits.
Yeah, maybe, of course.
And maybe an hour isn't enough, because it seems like it takes a while to get through some of the qualifying.
Yeah. Well, that's why I'm trying to I'm throwing out scenarios where you can avoid it. So.
Yeah. It'd be nice to avoid that qualifying, because sometimes it just drags on, like the solo passes. Yeah, I think it would constantly change.
Well, depending on how the championship points, how the championship points fall throughout the season, the connection's dropping in and out, so people are gonna miss bits and pieces of this shit anyway. But yeah, you have it where that changes throughout the year, but it also means if you're a new person into it, that you're automatically back down the bottom.
Yeah,
and then based off your result from that round that you've entered, it bumps you back up.
Yes, yeah, because that would work. Because that would mean the low people will stay low.
Yeah.
The high people will just would gain anyway.
Yeah.
So that way, because you really need that something to sort of keep people in a not in check, but it will keep a standard for the competition. So that's what is the issue. So, and I think it also makes them aware that their seating event a lot cheaper, because it's not really a competition.
Yeah, or you just try. Yeah, or
you
just try and extend your first day, or whatever your first day of comp is, you try and make it a little bit longer or something like that.
Yeah, or it could be just a practice day, and you just this is the practice day for this comp.
Yeah.
And
you're gonna be seated at that, and if you don't come to that, then you'll just be put down further down the order.
I really need to. I feel like I need to weed out some of the entrants.
Yeah. Yeah, and then of course, if you're looking at a different style of event that is an invite-only event, then you could possibly run, a couple of hours practice, and because it's purely invite, the organizers can and the judges can, instead of running a boring qualifying session, just have everybody out there doing tandem practice, and then just pick their, have it in their mind the order that, it doesn't have to be a complete paper system, but you can sort of pick your battles based off how everybody's driving in practice beforehand.
As well.
But that's talking purely invite. That would work in, say, a DCA, a World Time Attack, a Vic Drift, a Summer Series, or just Drifting SA, even D1 WA, it would work. So where you've got good enough drivers that you could you can handpick and run that type of event. But I would imagine for that sort of stuff, you're talking more demonstration, high profile events, and then at that stage everybody wants to be part of it anyway.
Yeah, so I think that would work. but that's that scenario. So it's not really like an open. So it really depends on how it is. I like Stewie's system. I like that it addresses some of the things that I was worried about. Gives people practice, but it's interesting about the idea that you go to a comp to get 10 in practice. That you don't need to do that. You can get 10 in practice at a practice day. You don't have to go to the comp to get 10 in practice.
Yeah, no, of course. Damien saying sounds a bit like the Jaeger system. Nah, not really. The Jaeger system sort of, you could work your way right through. When we're talking seeding, we're talking like solo pass seeding, not tandem seeding, basically to just make sure that people can string a solo lap together as opposed to not even being able to string a lap together, which is always EG's biggest worry, that people do random crazy things.
Really. So think of worst case, well, besides dying or being injured, like the car's like severely damaged and they have to pay, I don't know, $10,000 to replace the car.
Yeah, look,
it's yeah.
The other option is you can sell all your RPF ones, buy some genuine some other Jap wheels, and then just go to halfway hangs.
Hey, that's coming up soon, isn't it? Don't they have one in February?
Yeah, in February, and Jai's gone and sold all his Formula 1 wheels. He's RPF 1, so I'm not sure what he's moving on to now, but he messaged me to tell me big pro drift news that, yeah, all his wheels sold, so maybe he's just gone, putting his big boy pants on and moving up to 18s.
Okay. I didn't realize there were 17s.
Yeah, he's on 17s.
Okay. Yeah, 18s are getting a lot cheaper these days. Some of them are a lot cheaper than 17s now.
Yeah, because they're pretty much standard from factory on most cars now, so.
Yeah. Falcons, Commodores. Actually, Falcons aren't around anymore, but.
Yeah, let's not call it a Commodore, because it's just not.
Hey, Stingers are cool. I really want to drift a Stinger though.
Hey, the dudes over at SEMA, you saw all the videos from the FD guys driving them at SEMA, like automatic and just absolutely pitching them in. It's pretty cool. So.
Really? No, you have to link that.
Really? You haven't seen anything from it?
From SEMA? No, I've seen zero from SEMA at all, which is really weird because there are a few people that I know that usually post from there, but yeah, it was weird. Didn't see it at all.
You don't follow enough FD drivers on Instagram then?
No, I don't. I'm pretty much not.
You old man.
I follow drifting and girls, I think, like most other guys.
Special boy. Yeah. I don't know. We're probably going to keep the episode short tonight because I was playing PlayStation and EG was working on cars, so.
Yeah, they're still working on. Actually, looking at the security camera, and they're still working away. Yeah.
Daryl just said Forrest broke 3 of the Stingers. What did he break?
Really?
On them? Yeah, what did he break on them, Daryl?
They look cool though, especially from the front. I really hate the Kia badge on the back of it though, on the front as well.
We should get Daryl on at some stage. He had an epic trip over and spent a whole bunch of time with Forrest over in Vegas and went out street drifting.
Really? Forrest is interesting as well because I had a chat with him when he was in Tanzania. Yeah. Realistically, and that was really cool, but I don't think he'd actually repeat it in public.
Nah, he's got a fair bit of stuff that ends up online that he posts himself, or...
Does he?
Yeah. And there's a few hot spots that he goes out to and checks the lights. There doesn't look like there's many lights in it.
Not like that.
Ah, okay.
No, it's just more like commentary about people that he works with and
yeah, don't repeat that sort of stuff.
It was all constructive. It was just like I think people would get offended, so that's all.
They were breaking diffs and gearboxes.
Yeah, I think diffs because they look tiny when I look underneath them. Gearboxes couldn't see it at all.
Well, gearboxes are automatic, so I'd imagine they're probably just cooking the crap out of the hydraulic system in them.
They're probably just bands, like they're probably just really old traditional bands, like in Falcon gearboxes and Commodore gearboxes.
Yeah, no, no idea. I don't know enough about them. All I know is that if you stall the crap out of a torque converter too many times, they don't like you very much anymore.
Yeah, the fins break, don't they?
Yeah, something like that, just from the heat.
Yeah.
Paul's asked if we're going to continue next year. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier. We're sort of lining up guests, and then what events are we planning on going to? At the moment, neither of us has any immediate plans because EG's got no money and needs to get his 2 or 3 main cars actually running, or at least one of them running, and I don't know. I think in the last little while since the 350's been off the road, the car getting stolen has actually hit me and has put me off a little bit. So yeah, I don't know. I lost a little bit of motivation, but Wakefield was fun, so I'm sure once I'm back in the car and enjoy it again. But I think this year I need to be, rather than jumping from event to event, I've been to enough tracks now where I just want to sort of target where I go with guys that I know I can actually drive close to, and cars that are fairly evenly matched with whatever I'm actually showing up in, rather than having a car that I either pull away or can't keep up in. So I think that's sort of where I want to be this year. And even if I only end up doing a handful of events, that I really enjoy the events that I drive from a driving point of view, not so much. Yeah. So yeah. And fuck going to Queensland. I'm not going to fucking Queensland this year. 2019, I'm staying the fuck away from Queensland. So, if you want your shit stolen, go to fucking Queensland this year. Or
No, I
like
don't want my shit
2019.
stolen.
Because that
No.
place is crazy. Did you see the chick who was on Australian Ninja Warrior, Loki or whatever her name is, ended up having to...
Oh, I saw that
Yeah.
with a Skyline. Yeah.
She ended up like having to... She rammed the side of her own car to stop the guy. This was like a day or two later, and like broke like a rear arm or something, so it caved the wheel in, and then she ended up putting the dude in a headlock until the cops got there. But basically, yeah, if you don't get yourself in a situation like that, get your own shit back, then good luck getting it. So
Yeah.
yeah, so basically,
I think every state's, well, Canberra's actually really bad at the moment, I think, as well, because we had lots of cars stolen on fire. So they've just stolen it, joyrided it, and they've lit on fire.
Yeah, one of the dudes up in Coffs Harbour just had their new Focus taken. The young dude went and filled it up with petrol, and then the next day it was found burnt out. So yeah, just retarded shit like that. But southeast Queensland at the moment, nothing sacred there. Like in your old stealing cars and taking them for joyrides and stuff like that. I don't think Sydney's quite that bad at the moment. Maybe it's because we've got a whole bunch of foreigners here, so they're not really into doing that sort of crap. So it's not so bad. So at this stage, I think I'll be sticking it fairly local, and if I'm feeling super motivated, I'll try and get to the Bend, and I'd like to do Winton, because I keep saying I want to do Winton, but I think this year Archie and QR will be off my to-do list for 2019. If I go to Queensland for a holiday, I will not be taking the drift car.
I really want to go to Tailham's. It looks awesome. So maybe we'll get there.
Yeah, I think as I said, if I'm going to go to an event, I want to go with, at least one other person that I know, similar sort of car, and that I can spend a whole bunch of time with and just focus on driving. And just, even that little bit of time I spent with you with the headset on, it really just does change your perspective, especially once you can cut an okay lap of a drift track, and you feel like you're not going to spin a lot or all that often, and you can start pushing a little bit harder. having another person that you can drive with in a similar powered car or a similar, drift speed car. The car can have a whole lot of power, but if it blows the tires off it, then it's not so bad if you can sit with them. And then, yeah, just some sort of communication between the two cars changes. Yeah, definitely changes the way you see it all. So I think that's sort of my plan for the year, and hopefully we can get EG back in a car so that he can try and tear my rear bar off again or something like that instead of breaking my car.
You need to get a practice car.
Nah, the 350 will be alright. I don't mind banging it up once I get a trailer and do all that sort of stuff. It doesn't need to be pretty.
Okay. Alright.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anything else you want to cover, or?
Not really. Thanks to everyone that came on this year.
Yeah. Look, honestly, the support for this year is something I can't thank everybody enough for. I think we've got a good, solid. Some people might laugh at me saying the number, but I reckon there's probably a good 50 people at least who listen fairly often, and even a fair few people who have messaged being like, oh, can you make sure episodes are going up onto YouTube and stuff.
Yeah.
I was actually super surprised at who some of those people were, because I thought they would have had no interest in listening to some of the dribble that we talk. And yeah, I don't know. It's cool, and the thing that I've been, I think, showed that we've made it this year is we have haters.
Okay, that's a good benchmark. Actually.
No, honestly, it's true. It's true though. Like guys like Adam LZ and stuff. At first, they say it kind of it does hurt, and then they realize no, once you've actually got haters, you've actually made it. Because a lot of the time, people don't have any reason to actually hate you. They just hate you because you're doing something that either they'd be interested in doing or they need something to hate. So
yeah.
And there were dudes who didn't like us at the start of the year, and they're dudes who are super cool with us now, and they're not the people I'm talking about. I'm just talking about, you see every so often a comment will pop up on Facebook, dropping comments about the show and about either one of us, and it just makes me laugh. So thank you, thank you to the haters, because you're a minority, so. Thanks for listening, because if you didn't,
I know.
We exist, so therefore, thanks for listening. The guys who we took a little bit of issue with stuff early in the year, thank you for the turnaround in it all. I think everybody's grown this year, and yeah, look, hopefully next year we're a little bit more of a polished machine, but I doubt it. We'll still be
Me too.
We'll be like a bit of a polished turd, but yeah, look.
We'll message someone 5 minutes before the show, hey, do you want to come on? We need a guest.
Yeah. So, yeah, keep an open mind to the show, listen to it. If it doesn't make sense, go and listen to it again sometimes. It's probably the best thing you can do for people who some of the information gets lost. And I'm just surprised by the number of new people into the sport that have actually, who sort of listen to the show. And it's like, oh shit, we have a little bit of influence. So to the newer guys and stuff like that, I know there was a dude a few weeks ago asking things to do to a car before, before an event and things like that. Maybe we'll do an episode 1 week where we break it down a little bit more, and then
I think we should get a few guests on for that to get different perspectives.
And then we can always refer people back to that episode, because we did the what is drifting and what we believe is drifting and all that sort of stuff, and people can always go back and listen to what we, or more so EG, believes the fundamentals of drifting are and all that, but we never went right back down to also getting yourself prepared for your first track day and getting in and doing it, and sort of what sort of attitude to carry during your first couple of drift events. So we might cover an episode like that fairly early, or if we can't get a guest for next week, maybe we'll kick 2019 off with an episode like that. I know it's pretty irrelevant to most of the guys who listen to it regularly, but yeah, we do actually have a lot of new people who come through and somehow stumble upon our mindless dribble. So yeah.
So if you listen, you can comment and provide input.
Yeah, look, don't be afraid to message the page if you don't have either of us. Well, yeah, fat chance you're gonna get fucking EG on on Facebook because he doesn't add anybody. He lets you ferment. Basically, if you haven't been sitting in his in his inbox for 18 years and aged and matured enough, then he doesn't drink you. But if you message the page, and normally you'll get hold of me if I actually, if it's at a sensible time and I actually remember to reply, because I'm a male and I'll open messages and forget to reply. Don't worry, it's just not the page. That's what I'm like in life. It's really good when you run your own business for that too.
Literally, when you're trying to sell stuff as well.
Yeah, I tell customers who want their blade sharpened, look, if I don't reply to you the first time, just send me 8 more texts. Don't be afraid to annoy me because I'll probably forget. So yeah, EG does need to get on Instagram more. So do I.
I barely post on there. I look through there as like the last sort of thing that I do maybe in a week, and then I don't go enough.
Nah, Instagram you can't do in a week. You've got to at least check it every 24 hours because then the stories disappear. And people post so much, in stories. So.
Yeah. Some people post way too much, so I just skip them a lot.
Yeah.
Like you do the thing where I think you can swipe it and
actually, you just tap it to the next one. Yeah. I'm the one running the Clutch Kick Instagram page, and honestly, I do not spend that much time on it. I normally go back to my private one. I'll post up whatever needs to be posted for. If EG's made a poster for the week, I'll post that up on the Instagram page, and that's about as my extent with that side of it. I'll go and have a look every so often.
Yeah, we're trying to get people to contribute some of their things. If they want to announce something, then we can post it up as well.
Yeah, and also if you're coming on, or don't be afraid to just, as long as you tag us, just grab the picture and throw it up on your one and just tag us in it, because that's what Drifting SA did, and Stewie did the same thing, and we gained a whole bunch of followers from it, and I think a lot of the guys who listen are from SA now.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything else?
Not that I can think of. Not at the moment, anyway. I'm sure we can sit here and talk for hours if we really had to.
Yeah, nah, we're good. So yeah, don't be afraid to send us messages if you listen to this postcast. Yes, just shoot us through messages. We're open to feedback. We're not EG stubborn. I'm fairly open-minded most of the time. And look, this is it's our opinions, but it's still an open forum. But at the end of the day, it's just opinion, and our opinion is gospel. I mean, like, it's not gospel.
Nice one.
I'll probably pop out on Saturday the 29th, to watch some of the drifting out at Eastern Creek. I'm not driving, but if it's too hot, then I'm not going to spend too much time out there, because 38 degrees is not my idea if I'm not drifting. So we'll see how we go. Just hopefully it's a killer day. So yeah, we'll catch you guys more than likely next week, probably both with heavy hangovers. We should be 24 hours out of a hangover by that stage. And then next week might be this sort of impromptu thing. We might do a bit of a getting organised for your first track day type thing. And yeah, maybe we'll end up with we might get you on at some stage next year, Paul, with your Running Hearts guys. They did a giveaway for this weekend, so it's good that guys like that are contributing and giving people the opportunity to jump into cars and get a taste of drifting if they don't have mates who drive. So they've given away some rides for the weekend. So kudos to those guys for helping with that. Just make sure Mickey's at the back of the line for all your safety. Put Paul out the front because he'll do a consistent lap. All right, we will catch you guys in a week.
Yep.
And thank you for 2018. Shit, that's kind of scary to think that this year's over, or almost over.
Yeah, almost over. Lots of drifting to do still.
All right, we'll see you guys next week.